So there are some things that I have recently discovered, when I say recent, it's like in the last few years, that if I had known way back, it would have saved me so much time, grief, stress, anxiety, and really put me on the path that I wanted. So if you're an entrepreneur, founder, business owner, watch on because maybe this will apply to your life as well. So, this is my Patagonia. I think this is called the Black Hole backpack. It has served me well. It's functionally still okay, but I have like all these. I don't know what this is. This is like a layer on the backpack that has this like shiny sheen to it that's now peeling. I think this is the waterproofing that's coming out. I think it looks quite vintage. The only problem is it also happens on the inside, and it's really annoying when I put stuff in and it comes out with all these specks of brown. Happens outside as well. Like if I leave this bag somewhere, like maybe on a fabric sofa, it actually leaves again the brown specks and it's super annoying. So it's been a while, it's been a few years. Many people have told me to change this bag, and I am finally changing it. So what am I going to change it to? Well, it's a Burton. Love the brand. Unfortunately, the founder, Jake Burton, passed away, I think last year, and it's a bummer. If you haven't read the story, I think it's worth a read, and I think they came out with a movie about it, a documentary about his life as well. So definitely worth looking into. I'm a big fan of great business stories, and the Burton story, how he came about and created snowboards. I think that's a real great story because I think, I don't necessarily agree with, or I don't necessarily like all their products. What he's done and accomplished for the snowboarding industry is awesome. So yeah, new backpack finally, and it brings me about to one of the things that I want to talk about. All right, so in business, in life, I think there are things that I wish I knew way back when I was like 20. I started my business when I was 17 years old with my co-founder, and we went through everything, every single problem that you can think of: hiring problems, cash flow problems, business ideas, product launches, pricing, marketing, partnerships. Man, we did almost everything. So what would I say, or what would be the top 3 lessons that I would tell myself, or I wish I had known back then, right? So the first, it's really focus on the customer. This is literally one of the fundamental things that I wish I knew. When I first started my business with my co-founder, we were a bunch of teenagers, and we basically just did everything that seemed like it was a good idea, that seemed like it could make money. The main reason why businesses exist is, it's not because of profit, but because of the customer, because of the needs that the business is solving. And it took me a while to grasp that concept, because it's not something that is very understandable. Like, people always say that, and you can say that, and you can think you know what it means, but really using that concept in your daily life and making sure that every single decision that you make in your business is coming from that point, that's really tough. That's super tough. Again, the difference is really having a business that focuses on profit versus having a business that focuses on the customer. Now, the things that you do are going to be very, very different. So customer centricity really boils down to doing the things that your customer wants. If you're in a highly competitive space, you're literally doing things for the customer that maybe your competitors aren't doing, or they are not doing well, or they do not want to do. And if you do that, that's going to make you so much more attractive, so much better, and having a business that will be so much more successful than your competitors. I remember when I first started my business, the competitors that we had, the big guys, they didn't have 24-hour support. That was one of the problems of the industry. Imagine if you were a business and you had a website and you had a problem with your website at 3 a.m., you wouldn't be able to get hold of anybody then. You would have to wait the next day when the office opens and the support agents will come, and you could finally get hold of someone then. If your website is down, that means having like absolutely nothing that you can do from 3 a.m. all the way to about 9 a.m. when they open again. And that to me I thought was mind-blowing, right? Like, why or how could businesses survive with that amount of downtime? And when we first started, we wanted to do that. We wanted to solve that problem, basically making sure that businesses could reach someone and get their problems resolved. Basically doing what other people don't want to do, or cannot do, or feel like they don't need to, but the customer needs that. So that was something that we did. Find something that, if you're running a business right now, find out what your customers want that your competitors aren't giving, or aren't doing well enough, or aren't doing fast enough, and go do that. That is it. So focus on the customer is the first thing that I will look at. Number two, I would be very careful between ideas and problems. So this is a continuation of the first point. I feel like it's a different approach of the first point. When I was first running my business and trying to figure things out, a lot of times we, like my co-founder and I, we bounced ideas off each other, right? We were trying to rack our brains for the next best idea, the next best thing to do. But really that is not the best way to do things, or that's not a good way to do things. That's not a good way to run businesses. And I'm sure you've done it before, right? You've been like thinking in your mind like, hey, maybe this is a great idea, or maybe this idea would be fantastic, right? But what you're doing is really putting the cart before the horse. That's not what business is about. If you ask me, business is really, really, really all about the problems that you can solve. So don't think about becoming a successful business. Think about, how you can solve problems for people successfully, right? The best way to do that is to really be part of the industry. And that is why sometimes you see people succeeding in the industries that they are in, right? Lawyers creating, legal businesses, engineers creating tech solutions, accountants creating great accounting related businesses. That's because they are part of the industry, right? And the successful ones, they are the ones that are listening to the customers. They are the ones that are understanding what the customers are doing, and from there creating solutions to the problems that they've identified. Once you do that, you've got a great business. You've got a way to solve your customers' needs, and that is the path of creating a successful business. That is literally the best way to do that. And if I had known that, I would have saved so much time, that I wasted just trying to brainstorm or figure like out the next best thing, where I could have just gone to my customers, seen how they led their lives, understood the problems that they were facing, especially in the niche that I was in, which was web hosting, and then create features, benefits, products, pricing, support, and help them through the problems that they were facing. So that is a lot more sustainable, a lot more scalable, and it will eventually help you create a business that is going to be truly successful. Now, the third thing has got to do with cash flow. It's something that I was not very focused on, and that is to be lean and frugal. Not because you have to, you shouldn't, you don't have to be lean and frugal, but it is a great mindset to have, because essentially cash flow is king. Now, people always say that again, and I think a lot of people know this, but they don't really understand or grasp this or actually put that into action. Now, being lean and frugal means that if you have the cash, you're not using it without any regard. Being lean and frugal is you are being lean and frugal not because you have to be lean and frugal, but you are truly lean and frugal when you have the cash, but instead choose to be lean and frugal. Now, when you are really in that situation, that's when you test and see if you have these values. The reason why this is so important is because when you have a business or when you have when you're living your own personal life, you need to understand that money is a resource and a tool. It will help you do things. It will help you open up options. What it won't help you do is to allow you to spend frivolously on things that don't matter. So that's why understanding what your end goal is, understanding what's important to you, understanding all these things, and then crafting a lifestyle that helps you do that is going to be so important. Thankfully enough, I think the business that I was in, we had no choice but to be lean and frugal. And that was a mentality that we kept throughout. And when I look back, I think about all the possibilities that we could have been spending a lot of time and money on, and I'm thankful that I didn't go down that path. On my personal front though, I didn't do so well. I spent on a lot of things that I now regret. I spent on a Lamborghini. I got myself a Lamborghini. I absolutely hated the process. I absolutely regretted going down that path. If I could, I wouldn't have done that. But looking back, I think it was a great experience that taught me a lot about being lean and frugal, and that's something that I appreciate and that I am grateful for. But if I were to give myself a lesson back then at 20, I wouldn't bother with that, because the mindset that I should have is to be focused on the goals that I wanted, the outcomes that I wanted, the objectives that I wanted, and make sure that all the things that I spend my time, effort, attention, money on will lead me there and not distract me, or not cause me to be and not end up being distractions to my goal. Case in point, the Lamborghini was great, but instead of spending time on my business, on myself, on my personal growth, I was now spending time taking care of the car, servicing the car, spending time looking at what modifications I could make to the car, what paint color the car should have, and it wasn't truly translating into true happiness. It wasn't making me really happy about things. It was just another thing on my to-do list now that I added to myself, and a very expensive item as well. So again, that wasn't something that was in line with the goals that I want, and that's why being lean and frugal is so important. Now, if I didn't have that, I could have the options to do other things. Social causes, donations to a cause that was true and dear to my heart, like education and entrepreneurship. That's why I made that scholarship donation to my alma mater, and I wish I could do more. So these are all things that could happen once you have the right mindset, once you're being lean and frugal about things, and you know exactly what you want to do. So these are the three issues, the three things that I think that I could have learned and that I could have appreciated when I was 20. These are the three lessons. So number one, focus on the customer, making sure that the customer is the main reason why you do anything and everything. Number two, focused on not the coming up with ideas, but really working on the problems instead, right? Making sure that you are there solving a real problem and not coming up with an idea that seems cool and fun and that the market might like. Number three, being lean and frugal. Hopefully not because you have to, but even if you don't have to, you choose to be lean and frugal, because that opens up options to you and allows you to really truly appreciate the journey towards the outcomes, the goals, the objectives that you have. And truly that gives you that option to do the things that you want. So these are the three lessons. Again, if this helps, let me know. Drop a comment down below about how you think, what you think about these three lessons, and if this applies to your life. If you have any questions, let me know as well down in the comments below. Like, share, and more importantly, subscribe to this video as well, so that I know that these videos are useful and helpful to you. Once again, please take care, and I'll see you in the next video.